Hey guys, it's Kyle. It's Monday, August the 3rd, 2015, and I just wanted to make a short video, just kind of update. I haven't been doing as many videos as I want to because I've felt very worn down physically, not spiritually. I feel very faithful. I feel like good things are going to be happening soon. Enough people are going to know about this to where we can stop it enough where we can have a little bit of peace in our lives. But I guess my main thing that I wanted to talk about, like since I haven't had a job and like I've had to lean on my parents a lot. I'm trying to get disability now, but I've had to lean on my parents a lot, so I haven't been able to just match these guys with my tabletop defenders and defensive stuff. I've been buying plugs here and there, but the black car that moved in with the guy, when I had stopped being able to get the plates, he made a run for more weapons one time, and then about, I guess, a week ago, he made another run, and they've kind of plateaued, but since he went and he kind of made a push, they have been able to get through with a lot of the remote neural monitoring. So I wanted to talk about that because it's a lot stronger. That's definitely a lot stronger. I am going to get there. I'm going to get defensive tools. I'll be on the conference calls as much as I can. Those really help. And keep struggling through, keep going through. I completely have faith in my heart and my spirit. God is with us. God is with us. I know it. Recently, I came over to my parents and I watched Kings and Gods. It was about Moses, and this one part in it just sticks in my mind where, they get to the sea where God parts the Red Sea. In the movie, it was done really cool because it was done kind of in a more realistic way where the low tide kind of sets in, so it wasn't parted, but they were able to cross it because low tide dragged the water out. There's this part in it where he's sitting on the beach and he's led his people to try and get away from the Pharaoh who's going to kill him. He's just decided to kill them all, and he's looking at this ocean. It's like a deep ocean. There's no way to get across. And then he sees like this star fall. I thought it was really cool how they did some things in the movie. Some things, I didn't like, but that's how I think we all feel. We feel like we're looking at this huge, deep sea, and I really believe with all my heart, and I just truly believe it that God can part those waters in a day or two, and however much time that he needs to do it. That part in the movie just comes to mind when I think about this, because I think about him just looking at that water, and it seems just uncrossable, and they have a bunch of people who come in to just kill him, and it just happens. God creates miracles. God is with us, and he says that actually in the movie, like when they're crossing the sea, he says, "God is with us." God, and he's like screaming it. And I'd like to scream it to y'all that God is with us. He is with us. I feel it every day, even though they do get to my body. But I wanted to say that because I want to instill it in people's hearts that doing violence to these people or yelling at them, and I'm not saying I don't. I fail a lot, and I yell at this guy. Like, I don't yell at him, but I speak in my house. I'm like, you're a murderer and you're a terrorist. And I say ugly things that are true, but, it's not me. It's not who I want to be. But what I want to say on a bigger level is that I know a lot of us, we're not going to do violence. We're going to find a peaceful way. But there's a lot of stuff in the news where there is a lot of violence happening, and I think as targeted individuals, we all see it, and we all know that it is connected to these microwave weapons. It is connected to gang stalking, and I just like to just make a general statement, and usually I'm like, well, I don't know people's situations, but definitely violence will not solve this. It will give them what they want. It will make this program stronger. violence on either side is going to make this program even stronger. So we have to be peaceful, and we have to go to war, but we have to go to war with peaceful means and intelligent means, information, spirituality. Try and go after them with the law and with evidence. And I'm going to try and do that as I get more money. Hopefully it will be coming soon. And I trust that it will, but sometimes we have to just be patient. We do have to be patient and go through some rough stuff with this, because it is rough stuff. Like, I mean, by definition, this is the roughest stuff in human history that I could imagine. I did want to mention, I'll probably label this, remote neural monitoring, because I wanted to talk about when they did make a little bit of a push. They've been able to do a lot more dream manipulation with me, and I don't know how they do. I know they do it with microwaves. I know they do it while you're asleep. But a lot of the women, and they've done it before to me. But I really understand, because it's gotten stronger, and they have been able to do some pretty perverted stuff in my dreams, and it feels like people are touching me in the dreams. So, I really understand the extent of what they can do, with this manipulation, with the microwave manipulation of dreams, especially, to young women and old women, and it's very disgusting. Perverted. Those words, they don't really reach it, but they've been able to do some pretty disgusting and scary things with my dreams. Last night was the first time that they have been able to wake me up at a certain time. They've never been able to do that, but since they've made a push with a lot of the remote neural monitoring, they were able to wake me up at about 3 o'clock. I woke up and I couldn't go back to sleep, and that's never happened, that they've been able to actually wake me up with it. So, and in the dreams, they're very vivid, and I remember every part of them, so I know they're not mine, because I never remember my dreams. And some of them had my family members in them, in positions that, not like sexual positions or anything, but just ways that I wouldn't want to see them. And this is hard for me to say, because I know it can be, somebody could watch this and be like, that's just totally you. That's just you, whatever. And it just isn't. It isn't. And target individuals know what I'm talking about. So I did want to discuss the remote neural monitoring, because that did get more powerful when they made their last push. So I'm gonna push back. Definitely get at least another tabletop defender, because it really buffers it. It's been able to buffer a lot of the remote neural monitoring. But it can make you, can make your heart palpitate even when they're not pointing directed energy weapons straight at your chest. With the remote neural monitoring, they can make my heart palpitate real bad, make you feel anxious, and just in general more lethargic, depressed. And so this stuff they've been able to kind of push. So I've got to push back with my defenses. But it took them a long time, because it's been about 2.5 months since I haven't had a job, and I haven't been able to keep up with them. And I'm not at a point where I'd have to do much more to really buffer it out for good, because they've just been stocking up on weapons. The black car's been going out. I think he goes to another state or something, and picks up weapons and then comes back. So I don't think they're getting a bunch of free weapons even from my city or my state. I think they get a kind of a set amount, and then they have to go kind of search for them, people that will lend them out to them for free. I mean, I'm sure they don't go buy a bunch. I think they can buy the high-pitched sound emitters, but with the directed energy weapons, anything added to remote neural monitoring, I think they have to go borrow things from other stalkers who maybe aren't using it, or have abundance of these weapons. But yeah, I want to give people credit, because I don't deal with the remote neural monitoring a lot. Most of mine has been the ELF, where they'll shoot something that'll hurt your muscles. That's been my biggest, biggest challenge. If they're hitting me in the side of my head or the side of my body and it's burning, or they hit me in the chest. So I haven't had that challenge, but really those vivid dreams, the dream manipulation with the microwaves is almost, it's mind rape. It's definitely mind rape, and it makes me, like, they could throw all the pain at me that they wanted to, and I would still, be myself, be happy and stuff like that, and be strong. But they have something for people like that, who they can't just torture the hell out of and break them down. They have mind manipulation where they can get in your dreams. I don't know how they produce, or they must have images already built up, and then they build on those, or they'll take things from your memories and then mix them in with dreams. I don't know. It's very complicated, and I can see why. That's why I feel like in that movie where he's looking at that ocean and it's so deep, and there are people coming and they have no mercy, and they're going to just kill off the Jews, And I feel like that, but I also, that image sticks in my mind. And I know God is with me because he gives me messages all the time. He's like, I'm here with you. This is not going to last forever. And he doesn't speak to me or anything like that. And if there was a voice or whatever, I would question it because of the V2K. He speaks to me through a whole different way that the microwaves can't touch. Through the world, through music, through a deep part of me that's not really attached to anything they can touch. But yeah, they did make a push on that. I think they realize, they can't just hurt me a lot and really do what they want to do. So they focused a lot on the remote neural monitoring through that push. These are the most unbelievable things that they do. But I want to go there. I have to go there. I have no choice. They've given me no choice. What they've done to my family, what this guy's done to his own family, it's terrorism on a level that I've never seen or known of. I think it's Satanism, mind raping somebody, microwaving stuff into their head, and they microwave triggers into your head and stuff like that, and that makes us look. You can talk all day and be like, hey, well, my neighbor, he's got this high-pitched sound that he's kind of hit me with from his house, and it's like people don't even believe that. So then you go into something like what these microwaves are truly capable of, and they're very powerful. It's a new technology that they are playing around with, and they really are playing around with people like they're rag dolls, or some type of dolls on strings, and just kind of like toys. So I really do feel, because I haven't had it a lot, but lately it's been very vivid and very the dream manipulation. I guess I don't know what you'd want to call it. I guess microwaving, transposing dreams, or into. I don't even know how you would begin to do that. But they do. They have that capability. With the remote neural monitoring. They can get into your visual cortex and kind of see images and stuff like that. So it's kind of logical that they would be able to put something in there, especially when you're asleep. When you're awake, they're not very capable of doing that. But when you're unconscious and you're sleeping, that's when a lot of these people go to work on you. So I really have a lot of respect for the women involved in this who have to go through that, because I've heard a lot of horror stories about that, dreams imposing on them, and it's just horrible. It's horrifying, and anybody who doesn't believe targeted individuals or whatever you want to call us, it's very true. These electromagnetic frequencies and these microwaves are very powerful. It's a new technology. They're playing around with it. They're hurting people, manipulating them. A lot of crazy things are happening in society that are directly connected, because some people that go out and do crazy things are on their message boards talking about being targeted individuals, talking about being microwaved and being attacked. Those things they just use and they funnel it back in, and they make people believe that this is necessary by saying, oh, there's a lot of crazy people out there doing this stuff, so we've got to have this microwave stuff to surveil people. We got to surveil them in their houses. So I want to say, like I don't know anybody's situation. Like, I know it's probably similar to mine, but that is a definite thing that we cannot do. We have to fight with all of our might to be peaceful, to trust in God, or whatever your spirituality is. Get with it and be as peaceful as you can. Fight with our intelligence. We need to go to war. I mean, we're at war. These people will kill. I mean, they're going to hurt my family. This guy, he wants to hurt my family. He doesn't really care. He knows he's not getting caught. He knows nobody really listens to me that's not a targeted individual or somebody who's experienced this or somebody who's, dealt with this. So he's very, very confident and just doesn't care. He doesn't feel any emotions about what he's doing to my family or me. But I guess I just wanted to say that it does make it a lot more serious, because it's just like, it's a wow. It's like, how are they doing that, and why would they do something like that? The guy on V2K is like, he wants to get me out of there, blah, blah, blah. I want to go from out of there. I want to be half the world away from him. And that's all a lie. It's like they don't want you out of there. They want to stalk you. They want you in a place where they can hurt you and torture you, and that's the truth. I mean, they can say whatever they want, but they want to play around with this equipment, and they want to play around with people, and they want to terrorize people, because the end of it, like when they screw your life up, they can just kind of be like, I don't know what's going on, and they can act like, they're good people or whatever. There are people out there like that who don't really care about doing what's good. They just care about what everybody sees. And then they'll do the most evil things that you could ever imagine. And it sucks to know that, and a lot of us know that for certainty, and a lot of people can't imagine it. Like, my neurologist was like, I just can't imagine that kind of cruelty. I can't believe it exists. I have a great psychiatrist, and I don't want to, I know a lot of targeted individuals say don't go to a psychiatrist, but I have a guy, and I know God's hand is in this. He is so moral. And he's like me. He reads comic books. He comes from a moral center, and he's a psychiatrist like that. And today I sat down with him, and I told him, I was just like, man, this, I'm not going to do anything. I'm definitely not going to do anything violent. And he said, he was on the same page with me. He was like, well, if this is happening, doing anything violent is just going to give them what they want, and if it's not happening, doing anything violent, it's not going to do anything. And I was like, that's it. He understood before I even said it. And so it's been a godsend to have somebody like that helping me. He's a great guy. He can talk to me and know that maybe he doesn't believe what I'm saying, but that I'm not dangerous, that I'm not going to go out and do anything crazy. But when people hear something this crazy, they do question us, and there are clauses where it gets it gets very unclear how little they need to put you into like a mental institution or behavioral holding center. So be very careful. I've treaded a path where I've gotten very lucky. So, I'll continue to talk to him about it. He's actually going to research it. He's one of those people. He's not going to go home and just be like, oh, whatever, blah, blah. He's like, I'm going to really look into this. It sounded like he was asking me questions about it, like, so the government's doing this? And I was like, no, I don't know why. I said, I told him about the apartment where it started, where I was staying up late. I smoked pot. So there was an ex-Marine there who was, trying to get in the police force, and some other people. And, they basically got me on a list as a person of interest so they could surveil me. And then when these people get this equipment, they start torturing you, surveilling you, and you're locked in. You're locked in on that list, and then they're going to start trying to false flag you, maybe make false records, maybe, just tell rumors about you, try and make you look crazy with the microwaves. You're on that list, and then definitely tell people wherever you go, tell people around there that you're this person of interest, you're this crazy person that needs to be watched. And, that's kind of how we all got into it, or, there's a lot of different ways you can get into it. But that's how I got into it. I know I was a person of interest who they were like, well, we got to surveil this guy. He may be crazy. He's, cutting up at this apartment complex, and we need to get him on this list, start surveilling him. And so when they start surveilling us, then they just start making up stuff because the equipment's so nice. I guess it's so nice for them, or so novel, and they're making money from it. So they're not going to let go of it. They'll destroy your life and your family's life to keep their hands on it, to keep that power. The system of gang stalking, electronic harassment, thought policing, these things are already happening. And they're going to be brought out, in the future even more if we don't stop it. And I have total faith. I don't actually have faith that it will be stopped. I have knowledge that it will be stopped because there's no way our society can survive this. The money that these people are making will be completely worthless because all these people that they're doing this to have to get disability or Social Security. Not all of them. Some keep their jobs, but it's a burden on society. So it's dragging down our economy big time. It's dragging down our society big time. It's making everybody more fearful and less controllable. I think there's this thing where they think they can funnel money into certain places and gain more control over the population and make it safer somehow. But that's not going to happen. That's a deceit. That is a huge deceit. There will be more chaos, and they use it. They use these people who can't handle it, because I've talked to people who can. I'm one of the people who can handle this. I'll just tell people about it, and whatever they want to believe, if they want to help, whatever. If they don't believe me, I'm going to be friends with them anyway. Now, if they're a gang stalker or somebody who is involved in the murder, they are my enemies. They're not necessarily enemies that I'm going to physically fight, but they're enemies who I want to see brought to justice. I want to get evidence on them. And I mean, we just have to remember where we are in this. But it's a pretty big deal. It's just when I had finances to fight it and to get the defenses, it was a ton easier. I kept up with it. But, I can't just, since my parents are kind of helping me in other areas, I can't be like, well, can you buy me a $500 tabletop defender? Because they're still on the stance of, well, you said that with the last one. And they're not, my parents still don't understand that it's a group of people who are working on it. They're working on getting more equipment, getting past my defenses. They don't just, I've made this metaphor before, they don't just come in with a box, set down that box, and it has a frequency that if you stop it, that's it. They just get more weapons. They get more ways, more delivery mechanisms. They'll use radar, ground weapons, and satellite on you, and just use a whole different array of delivery mechanisms and more weapons to make sure that they kind of get through whatever you're doing, which makes it tough, and it does make it a war. This is a war, though, that I know, I know for certain that God is with us. He's told, He has spoken to my heart, and that, I am a Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ and God in a huge way. And when I see movies with Moses in it and stuff, I don't know about all the details of the story, but I do believe God works in our world, and He works in our world today. He won't come down to you and talk to you or send an angel that's glowing to talk to you, but He will talk to you through things that you love, or just things around you in life, people that you love. He'll talk through them. He'll talk through your heart, ideas that you have. The Holy Spirit will do that. And I've experienced, I don't just have faith in that. That's a very real thing in my life. Ever since I was 10, I've had Crohn's, and God has communicated with me through the whole thing, and He's communicated with me through this whole thing. And having Crohn's, there were certain times, and I know I've told y'all this, where I was on the couch, I couldn't get up, I couldn't go to work, And I was asking God, this doesn't make sense. This isn't doing anything good. But it's actually helped me to survive this in ways that I can't imagine. And I was watching a lot of services on Sunday morning. I'm at my parents' house right now. I was at my parents' on Sunday. And, the guy, one of the guys, I can't remember his name, but he was preaching, and it just hit me so hard. He was saying that, God has put you where you're supposed to be, and he's getting you ready. He's getting you ready, for what's to come, and you gotta be strengthened. He's got to strengthen you for that. And, having Crohn's and then seeing what's happened to the world, like going through this and then seeing what's happened to the world, I don't want to be a negative Nelly. I see a lot of negative things coming up. I see that we probably will get rid of electronic harassment. They probably will come out and admit that they've been doing this. They always do. They'll come out with other things, though. There will be worse things in our future. What they try and do, like take our weapons, or there will be dissent. There will be things that we will have to be mature for, and I think that's what God's doing to a lot of you guys, to all the target individuals. He's maturing us so that when the time does come and these things pop out and everybody else is surprised by them and it's so evil, we'll be ready. We'll know. And I really believe that. And I don't know. Comment below. I know that's probably very controversial. I've noticed on a lot of my videos, and I don't know if it's target individuals, but I notice I get a few more thumbs up than I get thumbs down, but a lot of people are kind of like, and that's okay. That's okay, because what I'm talking about is very controversial. What's happening to me is very controversial. I have to talk about it. We as target individuals have to talk about it. There were some ladies from California on a conference call that I was on, and I think last weekend, not this past weekend, but the last weekend, and they were saying you should speak out and you should act and you should do activism and fight this because it's going to get worse anyway. I can not talk and I can mind my own business and not fool with these guys, and they come at me harder. They come at me harder because they want me to act in some way. They want me to do something so they can judge it. So the deal is, and I really do agree with them at this point in my stalking, because I've seen it escalate with the vehicular stalking. The remote neural monitoring came last when they really started using that to manipulate my dreams, to kind of manipulate my emotions. I know they had been kind of manipulating the emotions from the start, because the microwaves can put you in a state, like an angry state or a depressed state or something like that. They're very powerful, and with the frequencies that they're shooting into your head, it can really affect. It just affect your frequency. You have, like, if you look at Dr. Nick Begich, he talks about all the like theta and alpha frequencies that we're in, and how they affect us. And these microwaves can do a big number on that. They can really affect what kind of state of mind you're in. They can't affect how you act when you're in that state of mind. Like when they do get me angry, when they do microwave me and affect my emotions, I say angry things. I say them at a normal tone, and they're ugly things, but they are for me. And I wouldn't usually say them. If I was in a calm state, I would shut my mouth, and I would try and be a little bit cooler about everything. But I get angry, and I say, hey man, you're a terrorist, and this is Satanism to me. So and you're hurting my family when I'd never do anything to your family. I say even worse stuff than that. No threats or anything. And it's really, it comes from me. But it's like a part of me that I don't want to be. I don't want to be that me. It is me. I am angry about this. I do think this guy's a terrorist and a murderer. A murderer at the very least. A terrorist, is what I think. But and it's not just him, it's the whole group, it's the whole system, the program of gang stalking and electronic harassment. It's torturing people, it's raping people, it's poisoning them secretly, like I did say this, to my attackers. I said, if you told one of my parents how many weapons that you had lined up against your wall, and this is me talking to my main organizer. I said, if you told my parents how many weapons you had lined up against your wall and how long you've been torturing me, what you're doing to me, and how you're hitting me remotely with this stuff, you'd be shut down. You'd see 4 tabletop defenders go up in a week because we'd order them, and you'd be shut down. And that's why they have to hide it, because if they came out and did this, there'd be so much support on our side, they wouldn't be able to carry out anything. They wouldn't be able to do anything. The people, the vehicular stalkers, would not participate if they knew a lot of this. Some may know, but the majority don't. And I think we have to realize that. I think we have to really, really realize that the majority of the people who are harassing you, and I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm not saying these are good people. Harassing people who you just heard were crazy or something like that is really shitty. It's really shitty. It takes a shitty person to do that. But it's not as bad as torturing somebody and raping them in their sleep, cooking them. So you got to remember that. You got to keep a level head and keep that logic that a lot of these people, they're not murderers. They think they're just harassing a crazy person. A lot of these police who caravan, a lot of these one-light cars, they think they're doing something good. They think they're fighting terrorism, and it's stupid, because they're not researching, they're not fighting for justice, so I don't really respect them. But it's not as bad as full-out torturing somebody 24 hours a day and butchering them. So you gotta keep it in perspective a little bit, and that'll help you to not get so angry all the time. It helps me. I forgot what I was going to say. That's a big thing too. That I'll be talking or trying to think of something, and they really do. They've been really beefing up the remote neural monitoring, and that's a huge thing. I'll have a train of thought, and it'll just crash. It'll just crash completely. But we push through. Go on to another topic or whatever. You got to go through different angles. You got to adapt to this stuff and get around it. And that's what I plan on doing, but you got to realize that, and they realize this, the way they do things, they realize that if your parents knew or, your friends knew, that it'd be over. Kind of glad that my parents don't really believe me, because my dad believed me, and I don't want to say he would probably go to jail. Because he would kick the crap out of this guy at the very least. If he knew how many weapons this guy had on his wall and what he'd been doing to me for 3.5 years, and that my dad changes the subject on me when I talk about it. If my dad knew for certain what this guy was doing, there'd be a lot. So I'm kind of glad that my parents, are supporting me, but don't really believe everything I say, because I've been. I've gone through it a long time. I'm going to control myself, and I'm going to fight it in a good way, in an intelligent, peaceful way. I just think that's what we should all do. I think that's going to bring us closer to it. We've got to get to these people who don't have support, who plan on doing something violent. We got to get to them before they can do it, because these people in this program who are microwaving them, they just watch them do it. They don't get anybody to stop them. I don't know why, and I have theories about that. We got to get to them. We got to somehow find a way, and I know these organizations that I have conference calls with, I know they're trying to get to these people and get them to be peaceful, but that's kind of on my priority list, is getting to as many people as I can. There is defense against this. There's physical stuff you can put around you to reduce the pain, and it's not going to make you look like the most sane person in the world, but it will, help your body. There are things that, plugs and plates and Q-wave defenders you can put on yourself. They do cost money, but there's ways to get money. There's ways to get support. I'm looking into even getting grants, maybe grants to, I don't know, research this more and help people. But that's a priority for me because we can't have a bunch of people going out and that can't handle this and doing violence because they're just going to use that. The program's just going to grow from that because they're going to be like, look what this crazy person did, and they're going to take out the whole microwaving and harassment. They're going to take that out of there. They're going to take that out of the mass media, and they're going to say, yeah, he's probably a terrorist or something, because that's what they're trying to label all these people as dangerous people that need to be watched. So that is a big priority, to get to those people first, to tell them there are defenses, to tell them what the defenses are, and get them support. And I know there are big groups doing this. We need to get more information out on YouTube, more information out on these conference calls, more information. There's representatives for the Foundation Against Covert Harassment in every state. There's a guy that I'm about to email, and I'm going to try and get some groups together in Louisiana where I live. Because I thought about it the other night, and I guess this is common sense, but when you're in it, you really feel like they've kind of funneled all these crazy people into your life, and they've recruited them maybe just for your situation. On some level, you kind of, your mind doesn't really contend with the reality. But the reality is those people with one lights who are recruited, they're not recruited just for your targeting in your area. There's lots of targeted individuals in your area, some who will never speak in their life, who may get murdered from this and will never speak out. Their families won't know why they died. But that's why you see so many people who are recruited, caravanning, one-light cars, everything like that, because there are so many targeted individuals. And that's a fact. That's a fact. Because I've thought about it, and I've deduced it, and looked at my situation, how many people are involved in this. And there are a lot of targeted individuals in my city and my state. Some may never get on a conference call. Some may never make a video. Some may be elderly and really just think they're sick. They think they've gone crazy or sick, and really bad things will happen to them. We've got to reach out. We've got to get to those people who don't know what's going on. We've got to give them knowledge of what's going on. Knowledge is power in this. Keep getting information about the technology. I would read the patents on how these directed energy weapons work. A lot of people say they are chipped. I really don't know. I've had surgeries. I've had Crohn's disease since I was 10. I've had surgeries and tons of dental work up to this point. It is a possibility that maybe I had a chip somewhere in there, but I do know, independent of that, they do use chipping, and they do use your frequency. They'll send out, because what these microwaves do is it kind of acts like a sonar, but they'll send out a microwave on a radar, and it'll pick up your frequency, and it'll come back, and that's a way to pinpoint you by just your body, by just your brain's frequency. So that is actually, and that sounds incredible. It sounds like Star Trek when they're like, I'll keep I'll monitor your frequency. But these things do exist now. Microwaves can do incredible things. It is an illusion of power. It is just a frequency. It is just an illusion of power, and it's a time where we don't have defenses enough to protect ourselves when we go out. When I go in my house, I have tons of stuff built up, and it's been an arms race between me and this guy. I've had times where I don't hear anything or feel anything, and those times are precious to me and blessings. And then I have some rough times when they get it in a certain place in his house, and it's hell. It's hell, and I wake up and my back's burnt, and my back is sore, my chest is sore, and I have a hard time, just getting up. But it's coming. The time is coming, and there's many avenues. There's many avenues, legal, getting people on a regular scale to notice this, so they can't get away with it as easily. The technology. There's so many avenues for us to be free of this, and you got to believe, and you got to have faith, because it's coming up. It's coming up. And, like, I can even imagine, these tabletop defenders are so great. They're just plates where they use, and I don't even think it's real gold, but they use, like, this gold substance on it. It shoots out Schumann resonance, solfeggio waves, and scalar waves. And I don't see a reason, and that's what the Q-Wave personal defenders do. I don't see a reason why they couldn't take what's in a plate 50 times the power of what's in a personal defender and put it in something that could fit on your hip. Like, just really, it might take some battery power. You might have to charge it or have, like, maybe 4 AA batteries in it or something like that, and then replace them every week or something like that, but that would be better than hurting, So even in my mind, which I don't know a lot about this technology, even in my mind, I see it happening. I see that there are avenues, and there are avenues that we don't even see. So don't give up hope, and don't give up yourself, and stay peaceful. Trust in your spirituality, what you believe in. That's a very important point. You need to have something. You need to have a higher power to hang on to, because your body's going to go through a lot of stuff. If you just have your body, I don't know if you'll make it. You need to believe deep down inside of you. There's something more, love, or Jesus Christ, God, Holy Spirit. These things do exist in our universe. There's a love that holds things together, that strengthens the potential of life, that fights for life. There is this thing in the world, and you really need to believe that. You need to believe in adaptation. You need to believe that you can strengthen yourself, that you can get through things. You can't just believe your body, because they'll destroy your body. You have to have something where you can regenerate and get strength back. And like I said, a lot of times, and that's why I haven't been doing a lot of videos, my body feels so tired. They've worn me out. It's 24-hour-a-day torture. They never stop. It's so insane. Like, I can't believe it, and they do it just because they're getting away with it. They won't get away with it forever, though, because people aren't dumb. That's the basis that they're going with, is that people are stupid, and they can direct people to kind of harass people, and they can murder people and just lie about it, and everybody's just going to kind of fall in line because people really aren't bright, and that's not true, and I know that for a fact. And people will rise to a challenge. People will rise to this challenge, and people will get knowledge. They will help us. These things they are going to happen. It's just going to take time. I know it's time that a lot of us, we feel like we don't have. Like, I don't feel desperate, but like I said at the beginning, I feel like Moses sitting on that shore, seeing that ocean that's so deep. But God is capable, even in this modern world, of doing even greater things than parting a sea. I know that. I don't have faith in it. I don't just have faith in it, I do have faith in it, but I've seen incredible things in my life. With my personal situations, I've seen miracles. I've felt Him work in my life and create miracles. We have to believe in that. We have to believe in that. We have to be peaceful. We have to use our hearts and our minds. And I know we're going to fail. Like, I fail every day. I talk to these people. They'll get me worked up because they're hitting me in the forehead or something, just huge headaches. And I'll feel just anger coming on, and I'll say angry stuff, in my car or at home, and it'll make me look crazy or whatever to them. I don't see how, because they know what they're doing. So, but they're hiding everything, acting like they're not doing anything, and then it's just a big deceit. It's deceit on top of deceit. But we will fail. We will fail. We're humans, but God won't fail. God won't fail us, and He's in your heart. Use the Holy Spirit. Use whatever spirituality you have against this. That power won't fail. Our bodies will fail sometimes. Even our minds are part of our bodies. It's very, very. I guess I can't find words sometimes that elevate the way I want. It's sad that the mind is one of the most beautiful things God has given us. People can create such wonderful things with it, and it's sad, and that's a word that falls short, that these people would come in and try and manipulate it, and microwave it, cook it, to make you look crazy, to do whatever they're doing. I don't really know the big picture. It's an ugly picture. Sometimes I don't want to put the pieces together. I do know that a lot of these things done in our society, experimenting on people like this, or experiment with programs and fusion centers, it always leads to something else. Even if you can stop that, they're trying to learn from this what they can get away with, and then something worse may come along, and that's when it comes to God maturing us. He's maturing us, so we're going to be in a better place to help people. We're going to be in a better place when people don't know what's coming, or what they're being hit with, or why they feel a certain way because there are frequencies in the air. We're going to have knowledge on that, and we can help normal people who haven't faced this as directly as us. It's very tragic. That's a word that doesn't meet a criteria, that some people are losing their lives. Some people can't handle it, and they're going out and doing crazy things. Innocent people are losing their lives, servicemen and women, police. I know all these things in society. It's like I turned on the news the other night, because I don't have cable at my house, but I came to my parents' house. I turned on Fox, and I watched it for like 15 minutes, and it was all about terrorism. It showed 2 new killings that I hadn't heard about, and it's just like there's a new killing every week. There's a new shooting every week. There's a theater shooting every week. And I know all these things don't have to do with gang stalking and electronic harassment, but it's a boiling. It's a boiling point for our society. And in a lot of these situations, electronic harassment and these microwaves and gang stalking does have a lot to do with it. But I see that the mass media, because a lot of these things on instinct, I can look at them, and then I hear from people later, and I'll go research it. I need to research a lot of these recent situations more. But we know a lot of these do have to do with electronic harassment, and I don't know why anybody would want to, take somebody that they think is crazy, drill them with microwaves, and then endanger innocent lives. And these people that I talk about who do go out and do that with the target individuals. They're people that can't handle it. And I know that I'm talking to most people who can handle it. We can handle it. We're strong enough. Get really in your faith. Know that that's not going to help anything. They're going to use that, and you're going to see these things on the mainstream media and go study, what these people put on social media, that they're being targeted, that they got microwaves being shot at them and stuff like that. The mainstream media is not going to report that. They're going to say, well, it was most likely terrorism. It was most likely this, and then they're going to use it to funnel back into the program. So it's not going to help in any way. We have to be intelligent and kind and peaceful. We will lose it sometimes. I lose it sometimes because I'm being microwaved, and it does a hell of a job on the body and the mind. But you got to stay centered. You got to just get back up. If you, like this morning, I did they were microwaving me in my sleep, and then I got up and I felt negative, and I said a bunch of stuff that was true. Like, it's true, but it's an ugly part of me that I can't fight it with this. Like, telling these people that they're evil or telling them that this is terrorism ain't gonna help. That makes it worse, because a lot of these people don't understand the seriousness. They don't understand the weight of what they're doing. So if you're sitting there like this person who's they're like, whoa, hold on, is that what normal people think? And then they're going to want to just off you more, because they're like, whoa, hold on, I didn't understand this was so serious. Or maybe they do know it's so serious. I don't know. I really don't know their minds. I don't know why anybody would participate in something like this. There are so many young girls being hurt out there, actually being physically raped in their homes. These people can come into my house. Excuse me. These people can come into your house whenever they want, Mine don't break in. They have a key, and so that's what they do with a lot of the targeted individuals. They're very dangerous people. It's a very dangerous situation. It is a serious situation, but I've seen how my stalkers, especially the people in the middle with the microwave weapons who know about, the torture and the killing, they reduce it. They reduce it so much to where, I don't even believe they think of me as human, which is scary, But that's a way to keep it in perspective, is that even though people may harass you outside of the people who are microwaving you, it's a good chance that those people, they may be shitty, they may not research anything, and they may not be looking for justice, but most of them aren't murderers. So, keep that in perspective. There are different levels, there's compartmentalization to this. And there are actually people out there who are doing this to us, to innocent people, who do feel like they're doing something good for the world. I turn on the TV at my parents' house, I watch Fox News for about 30 minutes, and I'm like, yep, I can see why people would be, doing the one light car thing. I see a lot of older men doing it, like my dad's age. I can see where the fear builds, and then people are very scared, and they're very willing to listen to lies about people. It's a scary time. It is a scary time, but we always go through these times, and God will always be there. Good will always be there. Love will always be there. So try and stay even keel. Try and use your mind to protect yourself. When you can, release your anger in a different way than interacting with your attackers, with your torturers. Try and do that. I fail time and time again because I do have a lot to say about it. I'm not a bad person. I want to help people in my life, nor have I done any violent crimes. So I have a lot of stuff on my mind that I want that, like, I somehow, I know inside, I somehow wish this guy would just be like, oh man, this is terrible. I'm, hurting this guy's family. He doesn't get there ever. He doesn't get there. And I don't think he's ever going to get there. So, and then on the radio today, I listened to K-Love, and there was this, a break happened, and the guy was like, you can't control what other people think. You can't control what other people do. All you can do is control what you do. And, see, that's one of the ways that I feel like that God speaks to me. Like, I'm going through my life, I'm going through my day, and through people or maybe through the radio, like, there will be a message, and it just feels like, man, that message is for me. And that's that way that God, communicates with us. It can't be controlled, by these stalkers. They're positive messages all the time. So, I guess that's all I want to say. I know this is maybe a serious video. I guess my videos have become more serious. I feel more worn out. To get past my defenses, the directed energy, they've had to really power it up. So I think it plays havoc on my body. Just their little push through, when they get a push through, it does a lot worse than when they just started torturing me. I'll try and make the next one funny. It's just hard. It's hard, and it is good to keep humor about this. But I get to a boiling point where it's like nothing's funny, because even if, and I went, it was weird because getting away from this, and that's a big thing, getting away from this, getting with friends who you don't talk about this with is really important. And I know we want to let people know, but it is healthy. Even just going to my psychiatrist appointment, I was talking to the nurses in there, and we were joking around, and it was great. They were people that weren't involved in this. We were just joking around about, because they ask you if you've been out of the country or anything, because they want to know if you have any diseases. And it was funny because I was like, I don't have anything that I can give you, and it was like at a weird moment. We all laughed, and we've got it. That was a little situation. That was just a little, little conversation with people who I talk to for a couple minutes. So sometimes I know we want to tell our family members and we want to tell our friends like what's happening to us, but sometimes it's actually good if you do have a family member that doesn't want to talk about this, to joke with them, to have those regular moments, those regular human moments. It'll help you keep humor about it. So stay connected to that world. I don't even know what I'm doing in this video. I'm starting to preach. Don't preach. It's like the guy on The Birthday Boys. He preaches against preaching. But I just felt like I did feel like when I got out, because they listen. My psychiatrist, he really listens to me. He doesn't blow me off. He doesn't think I'm crazy. I am diagnosed with delusional disorder, but the conversations we have, they do help. He's a very good man. Like, he's a good moral guy, and he's a psychiatrist. I mean, he reads comic books about heroes just like me. He has a moral center, and there are those psychiatrists out there that have a moral center. I don't know how many, because I know a lot of target individuals are against that. They're like, maybe psychiatrists are involved in this. But I'll tell you what, this guy that I talk to is definitely not involved in this, and he is a great guy. And that's not me saying you should do one thing or the other. That's just saying, like, we all go through our past, and we all find those people who really help us. And they might not believe us, or they may believe us, but they can really help us. And that's what's important, to not focus on these people who you can't decide what they're going to do. You can't tell somebody, like I can't tell this guy, what you're doing is treason. It's killing Americans. You're killing Americans. You're evil. It's Satanism to me. He uses that. He's like, honey, this guy thinks we're Satanists. We gotta get him. We gotta get rid of him. So he just twists anything that I say when I'd like him to kind of go ding ding ding. Hold on, this is really evil. But some of these people involved in this, and I know we all know this already, and I guess I'm just preaching to the choir. But they're not gonna come over to our side. They're gonna kill. They want to kill. They want to destroy families. They like playing around with this equipment. They like this stuff, and I guess I won't go into it any more than that. But I really wanted to make a video, and I guess let me go back to my train of thought, because after I left the psychiatrist, I was disappointed, because the thing is, like, I'm trying to talk to him about it, but it's a thin line, because the more I talk to him about it, he pulls back. He's like, well, you're doing good, you're doing good, you're fine, and I'm going to take care of that you feel all right, that you're taking care of yourself. But it's like you can get yourself in trouble if you go through, like, man, these people, they harass people, and this guy's got this equipment that I've got, defensive equipment that, you can hit dead ends even with people who do want to listen to you, who do care. And I was frustrated in the car, but then I kind of got this feeling inside, and it's like, I don't know. God has really grabbed my heart on this one. He's grabbed my heart because these are lives at stake. These are American lives at risk, military lives, policemen, innocent people. Just going to movies and stuff like that. People starting out their lives. It's so important, and God has grabbed my heart. He's gonna control this. He's got control of this, and we have to believe that. Like a good power in the universe, no matter how bad this seems, and I know sometimes it seems like an uncrossable ocean, he's got control in this. And if you just get your spiritual center, get that best part of you inside of you, and defend yourself and learn about this stuff. Activism, I'm going to get in touch with this guy in Louisiana. I'm going to try and get groups started in Louisiana. If you are a targeted individual in Louisiana, send me an email. I want to start a group, and I want to start activism, go into our capital and stuff like that. It is going to take big moves like that, and it's got to slowly build. It doesn't happen in a day, but that's the way to go about it. Activism, letting people know about it. And if they just can't take it and they don't want to listen to it, do your regular thing, because that's going to help you too. Because you don't need to be talking about this all the time. Anytime that you can not be obsessed with this, like I was working with my mom the other day, and she doesn't want to talk about it that day. She'll listen to me sometimes, but it helped me because we just went to work. We were joking around. She was telling me what she needs me to do, because I'm going to be doing some work for her. And it was great because it brought me out of it. So use those times to bring yourself out, of the constant torture. Even if they're, trying to do stuff to you while you're having those interactions, try and connect with those interactions more, because it's not only going to help the people who love you, your friends who don't really want to talk about it, it's going to help you. And there will be friends, there will be times, there will be friends that will listen, they want to hear about it. There will be people there who really want this information, who will help us, but we've got to chip away at it. We can't just come in like the Hulk and bash through it. It's not going to happen. We got to chip away at this. We got to come in it slowly. We got to take big strides too, but they got to be peaceful. They got to be peaceful so that people see them. They got to be big. But with people who aren't ready for this and don't know about it and it's scary, we got to chip away at that. We got to just show them that we're good people and that we're not doing anything wrong and that we just want to be free and we just want help. We can do this. God is with us. God is with us. Like, I don't know, if you are spiritual, if you are a Christian, even if you aren't Christian, that movie's a great movie, Kings and Gods. It gave me, like, some of it was kind of sad, like, the plagues and stuff. I was just like, oh my God, it's really sad. But it's very uplifting, and we should all have a personal relationship with a force in the universe, a powerful, loving force in the universe that has his hand in this. For me and for many others, it's Jesus Christ. He is my Savior. He is my Savior. He has his hand in this. He's guiding me. Like, today I had this feeling, and it wasn't in my mind. It wasn't like I was, happy. It was something deep down tugging at me, and it was just like tugging at me in this great way. I'm in this situation for a reason, and I can help people. And, we've got to take what positivity we can get out of the situation, because it's dark. It's dark. It's all the time torture. Our families are being hurt. We don't see an end in sight. We don't see an end in sight as human beings. But there is an end to this. And it was this tugging feeling deep, deep down inside. And we're going to be called even after this targeted individual stuff ends and gang stalking ends and they can't go any further with this and they have to tell the American people. There's going to be other stuff that comes. People are always going to figure out ways to weaponize things and hurt people. We'll be mature enough. We'll be strengthened in our spot. What this guy was preaching was just, it was just like, man, he's talking to me, because God plants you, and when you're planting it, he said when you're planted in the place that God wants you to be, the devil is going to come at you so hard. He's going to come at you so hard, and you're going to have to strengthen from that and mature from that. And God says it will end. God says that will end if you strengthen, you believe in Him. You defend yourself, do everything you can. But when you're in the place you're supposed to be and you're planted, and that's why I feel like I'm planted in this house. I'd love to leave, but if I go somewhere else, I'm going to be attacked, because that's how this program works. But I'm planted, and the devil's coming at me. He's coming at me with everything, and it is strengthening me. And I want to tell you all that truthfully. Like, even though this stuff gets really gruesome and it's very painful, and it's like maybe the most painful thing I've ever gone through in my life, especially because there are people doing it. There are people, however they automate stuff sometimes, like the V2K, and put it on a loop and do things where they're sitting and using technology. I don't believe in the AI, the complete AI theory, but I do believe some of the technology, the people that are using it do automate some stuff, because they can't sit there 24 hours a day and just say some of the same stuff. You know, they can't do that. It's not even possible. But you know, but that strengthens you to go through that. It strengthens you, it matures you, and you know, we'll get through it. We'll get through it, and it is going to end. It is going to end. Like, there's so many people. I wish, like, everybody who hasn't gotten on a conference call, go ahead and get on a conference call, a Saturday night one where there's 150 people, you know, from every state. There are new target individuals. There's just too much of this for it not to get out, and too much of it for it not to stop. But we've got to make it a priority to stop this, these random people from going out. We've got to get to them and give them resources and give them support, you know, so they aren't dangerous, so they know what's going on. Because I think a lot of people, like older people, they don't even know. They don't know that people are attacking them. You know, they may go nuts and lose it and do something crazy. And I think that's, I don't want to say, I mean, I just see the evil in this program, and I think that is that's one of the outcomes that these people look for. And that's horrifying. It's horrifying. But we gotta make it a priority to give as much information to make support groups in our state. You know, and I know I'm saying a bunch of stuff, you know, and I've got to work towards it. And I know I'm speaking to myself in this too. But it's going to take activism. It's going to take a lot of stuff, but violence isn't going to help. And I just want to say that on a general thing. If anybody, you know, if anybody's there at that point and they're thinking that's all they have left, that's not true. Reach out to these support groups. There are numbers you can call. There's conference calls you can get on. There's resources. There's defenses. You know, if somebody's in a lot of trouble, there's somebody that can help you out and help you to get some cheap defenses that you could spend, you know, maybe $20 on and be protected. You know, but just really believe that, and we've got to get that message out to other target individuals. I know I do ramble in my speaking, but I hope that, you know, I made some points, you know, in this video. I've been pretty scatterbrained lately. It's been tough, but I still wanted to make a video and just kind of speak from my heart. I did want to kind of center on the remote neural monitoring that they've kind of made a push on to me. It's pretty bad. And it's invasive. I consider it rape. You know, my mom was like, don't use, you know, I told her, I was like, you know, these people are raping me, and I was talking about them shooting the ELF at me. And, you know, she was like, don't use that word, that, you know, that makes me upset. And, you know, I understand that, but when somebody invasively, like remote neural monitoring, uses the microwaves to get into your head while you're sleeping, or wake you up, or do something, or like really control your body or something like that, it is rape. It's worse than any rape. And that's a strong statement, but I've got to tell the truth. I've got to tell what I believe about this. And that's a good way. It's a good way to get past the anger, to tell what you believe about it, to get it out, because we're going to have to push through it. We can't back up and wait for it to end. We can't back up. And God is a great God, but he needs us all working. He works through us. He's going to have resources that we can't even have imagined, but he does work through us. I mean, we have to stand up and push through this. You know, I've got to do a lot more. I make these videos. I try and get on conference calls. I try and tell people about technology that has really defended me. It's not enough. It's not enough. It's never enough. I've got to, you know, do activism. I've got to tell people who, you know, can maybe change this in our city council, or go protest. You know, we have to do stuff like that. We have to peacefully gather and protest. And I know even that's hard, because target individuals, we're always hurting. You know, most of us are stuck in our houses, and you know, we can't work and stuff like that. We have to find the strength, and I think that's where God comes in. He will give us the strength to get up on our feet, to rejuvenate, to renew ourselves. I really believe it with all my heart, and I've experienced it in my life. I've gone through surgeries. When I was like 12, I had a feeding tube from my Crohn's disease, and in my town, everybody gathered around, like at my school and in my community, and it strengthened people. They gathered around me, and I healed, and it was this bad thing that had happened to me when I was young, but it turned into this huge, and just this huge support for me in my community, in my school. I've seen it happen. People will one day gather around us, and we have that now. Other target individuals and people who know this stuff is going on will gather around you and help you. There are people out there that if you need them, they'll be there. I'm one of them. Email me. I know I don't answer my emails as much as I want to, but I'm going to start doing more. I'm going to start incorporating this more into my life, to just help you guys. Y'all help me so much. I watch videos that change my life and change my views on this. I get on conference calls, and these ladies, like this lady was like my mom's age. She had kids playing in the background in California, and it was like three ladies who had organized a lot of protests and activism. And there's so many. There's like a number you can call if you're really in crisis. There's stuff to reach out to. So I just wanted to make that general statement. That there's so many things, there's so many lifelines. So if you feel like you don't have anywhere to go, go online, go to talkshoe.com to find conference call times. Go to and I can never remember the acronym for it. It's FCCHS. Oh gosh, I gotta really get that straight, because they're a great group, but I always mix that one up. There's the ISA Act, ICA, ACT. There are many organizations that you can reach out to, and there are people that you can email, and they'll help you out. They'll give you information. There are people, definitely. There's somebody in your state from one of these groups. I guarantee it. I guarantee it, because I looked online and I found a guy who's connected with Foundation Against Covert Harassment. I found it immediately. All right, guys, just keep trucking, keep going. I just think soon, we will be heard, and there are people even now, coming around us and helping us and supporting us. Court cases being one. People gathering evidence about it, people getting it out in books. So it's coming. So be patient. And I'm very spiritual. I'm very religious. I'm a very flawed person. I'm not perfect. But God's hand is in this. God's hand is in this. No matter how bad it looks, He can turn a lot of that really bad stuff into really good things for you later. So don't give up. You talk to people who've defended themselves. Like, I've got stuff that, I've really balanced it out. I've really buffered it out. This stuff really works because it's sending out waves. It's sending out basically the Schumann resonance is basically the Earth's resonance. It's like 7.32 hertz. If you don't have anything, turn on the internet and go to the Earth's frequency, and that'll be the Schumann resonance, or go to solfeggio, the solfeggio waves, and start playing, and it's a humming. It's a humming on your internet that can block out a lot of the high-pitched noise, a lot of these negative frequencies. So there are things, there are grounded frequencies that, we basically thrive off of as human beings that can combat this stuff. God has given us an arsenal to fight these things, to fight these, they're not unnatural, because microwaves, they found a way to harness them and then direct them to do pretty amazing things. They're doing pretty amazingly evil things with them. They could be used to do amazingly good things, but military industrial complex or corporations, whatever the kind of compartmentalized group that's working on this and working on us, they found a way to harness this and do a lot of evil, a lot of evil experimentation, hurting people. But there's natural arsenals. There's things that, if there are those things that can hurt you, there are things on the opposite end that can defend you, and that's the basis I go by when I try and find any kind of defense. I find out that the plates have scalar waves that they shoot out, and it makes a field. The Schumann resonance, which is the Earth's resonance, 7.32 hertz, and then solfeggio waves. And all this stuff buffers them out. It's kind of like a battle. Like the field goes out and they're shooting their weapons, and it buffers some of it. Some of it gets through, and the more that you put up, the more field that you can make, the less strength they're going to have. In my situation, it is my neighbor, so I put the plates right by the point of origin on his weapons. I haven't tried the plates much remotely. I know that my personal defenders, my Q-Wave defenders, they really work when they're trying to hit me remotely. They still get through with stuff, but what these personal defenders do is they basically make a field around you. That's why the technology's here. The technology's already here. It's just not powerful enough for when somebody builds up a bunch of stuff for a remote station, for radar that can beam microwaves at you. It's not strong enough. It's there in theory. And I've built up, these little civilian defenses to actually be strong enough to fight against, the military strength of this. Not that it's like the military doing this, but the military strength of these weapons. It's a very powerful weapon, or weapons, I should say. So it's there, and it's gonna be advanced, and there's gonna be new things that come out. And I don't even know much, and like I said, I don't know tons about the technology, but even I know that it'd be very simple to take one of these tabletop defenders and makeshift something that you could put on your belt or on your neck for 50 times more power. It's just the power source, and it's just compacting it down. And I'm going to also do a lot on that. I know I say I'm going to do a lot of things, and I really need to start making a list and just making a list and checking it twice. I'm going to find out who's naughty and nice. No, I'm going to make a list and then just do one thing at a time. Because I know on these videos I say like, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to get evidence, and I'm going to do this. I have a lot of things that I want to do. So I'm going to make a little list, and I think that's a good idea. What you can do. What can you do? What can you do about this? Make a list. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go a whole page of what you can do. What you can control in this. Because when you find some modicum of control, which these plates, these plugs have given me a lot of control, my spirituality, knowing that God is involved in this and he sees all this and he's on our side, that gives me control. Make a list of things you can control, things you can do. If you feel out of control and you feel like, I can't do anything, these people are controlling my life and they're just playing me like a rag doll and there's no chance, just make a list and start going and start on number one. What can you do? You can keep a journal. You could make a private video to just encourage yourself. You can go visit your parents and have dinner with them and get out of that. You can go see a movie and try and get your mind out of it. Make a list, no matter how small those things are. Make a list of things you can do to control your life. I think that'll really help. And I'm going to do that. That's good advice for me. Because I know I say like, I'm going to get evidence. I need to get evidence. I need to get a trimeter. There's also technology for bird watching where you can pick up sounds from very far away, which would be a good way to stop them from doing the V2K or pick up the V2K. So I need to research that and get that, which I think would be very cheap. But I need to start making a list because I'm saying, no, let's do this. I need to do that. But yeah, I mean, let's get organized. Do what you can do. Like, you can't stop these people. Like, I mean, and maybe you can. Maybe you have maybe your situation's different. Your stalkers are confused, and you can get to them and be like, this is terrorism, guys. You're killing families. And maybe they will back off. You never know. With my situation, I have to kind of give it up to God. I can't tell these people they're evil. I can't stop them from doing what they're going to do. I can control how I respond to it. What I put up as defenses, what I can control. So I'm going to start making a list and checking it twice. So I'm going to find it. I'm sorry. But no, that seriously, that's what I'm going to do. Because control of your life, so you feel like you're in control of your life, that you've got a God with his hand on this, taking control of your destiny no matter what. It's so important to surviving this. Because they want to make you feel like, people are watching you all the time, and, that you really have no power in this, and that they can do anything to you. That you're nothing. They can break into your house. They can poison you. You're nothing. That's what they want to make you feel like. So you have to fight. You have to go the other way. And you have to know you are somebody. You are an important person. You're put on this earth for a reason. You got to start making a list of things you can do, that you can do. You can't change these people. You can't convince them to stop. They have to do that on their own if they're going to do it. But you can control what you do in response to it. And it's very important. It's very important that we get this information out, to people who don't even know what's going on, that we empower them with information, empower them with ways to defend themselves. Because it's the worst thing, and I know that all the chaos and police shootings and stuff does not just have to do with electronic harassment. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying there are so many more situations that I'm hearing of. Myron Mays, the Navy Yard shooter, and it's like it seems like it's building. It seems like they're getting more target individuals, and with more target individuals, there are some people who can't handle it, and they do want to go towards violence, and so we've got to reach out to those people, and we've got to stop that. We got to nip that in the bud, because that's not going to help our cause. It's going to grow this program. The things that are going to help us are peaceful activism, peaceful protest. Making lists of what you can control in your life, giving out information to people. These ladies are passing out flyers, which is a great idea. If you put it in a good way, they were saying we shouldn't call ourselves target individuals. We should call ourselves heroes, and don't necessarily tell people about your problems like I do in my videos. Tell them that it's going to affect their lives. It's going to affect their children. This is out there, and people can just pick who they want to and hurt. And it's going to affect, their grandma or their mother or their kids, and it will. So these ladies had a great idea. They were just like, this lady really reminded me of my mom, like how she goes after things. She fights for St. Jude. She fights to make money for it. And it really it reminded me of that. We have to be like that. We have to be activists. We have to do things peacefully. And we've got to get to anybody who is angry or thinks that they're going to go out and start a physical war, because that's not going to help us. It's not going to help us. The mass media is not going to report anything about what happened to you. They're going to twist it all, and they're going to say it was probably terrorism or something like that. And then they're going to be like, well, we need this program because there are people going out and they're hurting people. And I know this for a fact. I know this for a fact because I'm watching it, and we're all watching it. You turn on that TV, you turn on Fox News for 30 minutes, you turn on CNN for 30 minutes, and you're going to see, wow, there's an impact on society here. So we have got to push. We've got to make a push, and it's got to be peaceful. We've got to gain control of our lives, gain information. I know I'm preaching to myself. That's it. Like one time I was talking to my attackers, and I was like, you may think that I think I'm hot shit or something making these videos, like I'm telling people what to do, like I'm a leader or something, but that's not true. sometimes I make these videos, and I think I've told y'all this too. I make them, and I come up with ideas that I didn't think about before. So it's for me too. That may be why they're kind of controversial, because I think people do want somebody who is coming out and saying this is this and this is this and this is this, and just so you can be like, oh, okay, well, gang stalking is this, but that's never going to be me, because we haven't figured it out. We haven't figured out like any kind of big plan for this. It's doing a lot of things. It's doing a lot of different things on a lot of different levels. It's compartmentalized. A lot of people don't know about the murder, but they're participating nonetheless and getting money from it. So it's a very confusing program, and it's meant to be that way. Because if it was straight up and somebody could just be like, this is what this is, it wouldn't be going on. Like, my family would know about it, Americans would know about it, senators, congressmen would know about it, and they'd be like, no, we're not going to just murder people in their houses. So it's a very confusing thing with people, a lot of people who we don't know their motives, And so anybody who says it's exactly this, they probably haven't thought it out right. Maybe so. Maybe they have the answers. I don't know. Maybe the answers definitely are out there, but this program is meant to be confusing. It's meant to be confusing to not only confuse the victims or the survivors, I want to call us survivors, but to confuse their family members and confuse the people around them and confuse the people who get involved. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. And kind of relax. I've had a day of driving around with some vehicular stalking. I said something like, I haven't seen a lot of policemen caravanning me, and I said something about that in my house. I was like, I think maybe I'm getting, the things that I'm saying are maybe getting to some of the good policemen, because the majority of policemen are good, and they just don't know about this. They think they're, patrolling dangerous people. And then I said something about that because I see like maybe one sheriff car a day, and then today I saw about 5 police cars or 6 police cars. So they respond to things that I'm like, well, I'm not seeing this, so they must, they must be on my side now, and then they'll send out 6 cop cars caravanning me. But all right, guys. I just wanted to make a video and maybe give some encouragement, kind of get my thoughts out and organize my thoughts. I know that maybe a lot of people don't think videos are a place to organize your thoughts, that you should have them organized and know what you're going to say, but this is how I want to do it. It's very important that I just speak, because that's when I come up with the best ideas, when I'm just talking, and I feel like I'm talking to y'all. And I feel like you are my people. I'm not saying like I'm Moses and y'all are my people or anything. I'm just saying, I do believe that target individuals are my people. And anybody who is a target individual or whatever you want to call us, you need to accept these people, who are in pain, just like you who are experiencing this. These are brothers and sisters to you now, because we're all sharing something that's horrible, but it's going to connect us. It will connect us, and it'll make us stronger as a unit, as a group. And that needs to happen. We can't do this all separated. And I know everybody knows that because there's conference calls and, FCCHS, they're wonderful and they get people together. So I know people already know this, but I guess I just want to keep on stating it. I guess keep on giving out good propaganda. For our cause, for us. I love you guys. I love you, and I do think of you as brothers and sisters in this fight. It definitely is a fight for us. We are fighting for our lives. We can still have fun in life. We can still enjoy life. I do. I enjoy life. I play video games that I love. I'm reconnecting with a friend I haven't seen in 2 years. He's being kind of a jerk about it, though, but I'm just kind of joking. He's not really being a jerk. But there's so much good in life. This is bad stuff being funneled into our lives. A minority of really bad stuff being funneled into our lives and surrounding us. The majority out there past this is very, very good. And we're going to get to that, and we're going to use that to defeat this. There will be a backlash of peace. There will be a backlash of love against this when things come out, and they're coming out slowly. The more people who know about this, the more people who will just have it in their common knowledge, and will have more of an ability to stop it. These people who are cooperating with vehicular harassment and street theater, they won't be willing to participate when they learn about it and stuff like that. All right, guys, I do want to end this with a prayer. I feel that in my heart right now. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Dear Jesus, please help all target individuals today. Please come to our aid. Show people that don't know what's going on or are scared or hurt, that your hand is in this, and that you are controlling this, and that they have control of their lives. Please help the wise target individuals who've been through this a lot, to get to those people who are new, and so people can take them under their wing and teach them how to defend themselves and how to get through this and handle it, and really handle it in a peaceful, intelligent way, so we can move forward and we can buffer this out in a huge way, stop it. Just anybody who's hurting and alone, please help them to find resources and reach out to people that can help them. Take care of our country and other countries where violence seems to be spreading. Please come into everybody's hearts, policemen, servicemen and women, everybody in NSA, DHS, FBI, CIA, our government, Senate, our representatives. Please come into their hearts so we can fight for a better world, so that we won't have atrocity in our world. Show people that this isn't the way. To hurt people and to lie about them is not the way. I know your power. Your power is so great, and you can part seas. I know you can, and I know you can do it in the modern world. I'm sure of it, and I've seen it in my life. So please help all target individuals, survivors of this crime. Help them to be strong and to find ways, to control their lives, to get evidence to back these people off. Strengthen us and build us, mature us so that we're ready for what comes next. I know you will. I know you've already won this battle. We're just praying and we're just waiting and we're working for you. Thank you, God, for everything that you've given us, our families, our friends, other targeted individuals or survivors of this crime or whatever you want to call them, who can help, who care so much about life and all the people who are suffering. Thank you so much for them. I thank you so much for the people who guided me, who have been through this for so long, and their pain is so great, and they suck it up and they help people, and it's so amazing that you create these people and you've created that kind of strength in them. We love you and we trust in you. We trust that you are controlling this. You're allowing certain things to happen. You're allowing certain things to happen to us, and you're making a way. You're making a way so it'll end, and that we can have a good life, and that happiness will be in our future. Good times and laughter, and not just darkness, not isolation. We know you're there. We know you're there, and you're with us. Amen. Amen in the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. All right, guys. I'm going to kind of go chill out for a little while. I love all y'all. I consider you my brothers and sisters. Have great faith in this, because we do have a good, loving God. I'm sorry, if I'm getting too religious for some people. I'm not really sorry, because my faith is so deep, but I understand it might, I don't know, leave a comment on what you think about that. but this is who I am. I couldn't have gotten through most of the things in my life without Jesus. Like, I could not have, and I have to give him credit, for strengthening me. And he works through us. He works through the people in this world. So there's a lot of evil out there. There's a lot of people. There's something bad on the news every night. And we've got to just fight this stuff. We got to fight it and get resources and get knowledge and get knowledge is power in this. All right, guys. I will definitely see you on the next one. Live long and prosper. And I hope you're doing good. Please send me an email. I'm going to start answering my emails more frequently. If you need help, or if you're in my area, I'm in Louisiana. So if you're in my area, please send me an email. And I'm going to try and get some groups together using my contact from FCCHS. But all right, guys. I love y'all, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.